He walked through the white corridors, past the notice boards with their offers of small rooms and old cars, past the coffee bar where people sat at tables, past a hole in the white floor where an old chair stood sentry over an opened conduit in which a torch shone and a man crawled, and he looked at his watch. TU 28 PM 3:33. He stood on the steps for a second, smiling at the figures on the face of the watch. 3:33. A good omen. Today was a day things would come together, a day events would coalesce. It was bright outside, even after the painted lightness of the marble flaked corridor. The air was warm, slightly humid, but not sultry. The walk would be a pleasure today. That was good too, because he didn't want to arrive at her place hot and flustered. Not today, not with her at the end of the walk, not with that subtle, unequivocal promise there, waiting. Ready. Graham Park stepped out onto the broad grey pavement outside the school and during a break in the traffic jogged across Theobald's Road to its north side. He relaxed to a walk on the pavement outside the White Hart pub, his large black portfolio held easily at his side by a single handle, drawings of her. He looked up at the sky, above the blocks and squat towers of the medium-rise office blocks, and smiled at its blue, city-grimed segmentings. Everything seemed fresher, brighter, more real today, as though all of this normal, perfectly standard surroundings had until this point been actors fumbling behind some thin stage curtain, struggling to get out, but now stood, triumphant expression frozen on face, hands spread, going "Ta-ra!" on the boards at last. He found his young love rapture almost embarrassing in its intensity. It was something he was delighted to have, determined to hide and wary of examining. It was reassuring in a way. Let others have felt this way, let them feel it now. It would never be exactly like this, never be identical. Revel in it, he thought. Why not? A worn and grubby old man stood with his back against the wall of another grey and brick-red building. He wore a heavy grey-green coat. Even in that heat, and one of his shoes was open at the toe, bearing skin inside. He held 2 huge boxes of mushrooms. It was the sort of sight, the poor, the strange, that usually alarmed Graham. So many strange people in London, so many of the poor and the decrepit, the still spinning shrapnel, walking wounded of society. Usually they oppressed and threatened him, these people with their little threat to offer and much to fear. But not today. Today the old man, hot in his thick coat, blinking from his grey face, clammy hands around his 2 £2 boxes of mushrooms, was merely interesting, just a possible subject for drawing. He passed the post office where a young black man